The Health and Human Services mandate about insurance is really a big deal. It's a big threat to religious liberty, and it's a big threat to liberty generally. I mean, I think people need to see how significant this actually is.
We need to sort of sound the alarm. Who likes to sound the alarm? Nobody likes to sound the alarm. I'd like the alarm to be that someday a bell will ring. Unfortunately, that's today. Bonhoeffer was one of those who was trying to call the church to be the church and to say that if the church doesn't recognize the threat and fight together, we will lose. And it's important that every American understand that this HHS mandate is a threat to the United States of America. It's not a threat to contraception, it's not a threat to the Catholic Church, it's a threat to the idea of the United States of America, because religious freedom is at our very core. Once we lose that, and this is again, it's the line where 1 millimeter across this line, we lose something that we've had and mostly taken for granted for 2 centuries.
What the federal government is doing to the American Catholic Church is basically saying, you cannot deliver these services unless you do it on our terms, unless you do it the way we tell you to do it. Because if they don't conform to these insurance rules, they're going to be faced with onerous fines or going out of business or being taken over by the state.
When any minority is persecuted, when the rights of a minority, in this case, serious Catholics, is not protected by the majority, that's the end of America. Sounds serious. Well, unfortunately, it is serious.
I mean, the American Catholic Church is the largest provider of social services outside of the government, the largest non-governmental provider of social services in the world. If they're going to take on the American Catholic bishops and tell them that they have to give out abortion-inducing drugs as part of their insurance plans, if they can do that to the Catholic bishops, they're going to squash you like a bug.
First, they came for the writers. But I didn't speak up because I was not a writer. Then they came for the students. But I didn't speak up because I was not a student. Then they came for musicians. But I didn't speak up because I was not a musician. And then they came for the Greens, the Muslims, the trade unionists, Christians and the Jews, the travelers, the homosexuals, the journalists, the artists, the taggers, the doctors, the philosophers, the economists, the anarchists and the politicians, the nerds, the Europeans, the Americans, the communists, the hackers, illegals, the homeless. And I didn't speak up because I wasn't any of them. Any of them. And then they came for me. And there was no one left to speak up for.